Welcome back. Today we're in the TABE Success book and we're on page 15, and this is the first video. There's going to be two, so make sure you watch both before you start working on page 15. So a few things just to review. 0 plus any number is still the same number. So for example, 6 plus 0, 6. 7 plus 0, 7. 0 plus 8 is 8. And you know, that makes sense. If you add nothing to anything, well, you're still at the same place you started. Now, in addition, it doesn't matter how you add, in what order. These are called, if you really want to get technical, addends, okay? And this is your sum. So if you go 7 plus 4, that's going to equal 11. And if you go 4 plus 7, still going to equal 11. It doesn't matter what order you put them in, that's going to come out the same. Now, that's not true for everything. For example, in subtraction, if you do this differently, whoa, we're going to come up with a way different answer. But for addition, it doesn't matter what order the addends are in. Next, we can kind of take that, and from there, it doesn't matter what order you add numbers in if you have groups of numbers. For example, if I were to add these two numbers first, this would be 9, and 9 plus 3 is 12. If I were to add, now notice the numbers are the same, I just grouped them different. If I do 3 plus 4 over here, I have 7, and 7 plus 5 is still going to equal 12. So that doesn't matter either. Another example here, if you have numbers, you can take groups of numbers and you can pull out numbers out of order. For example, I could go 8 plus 5 is equal to 13, and then I could go 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. And then I could add those two numbers together to come up with a final answer, 21. If I did it different, I could go 6 plus 5 is 11, and 8 plus 2 is 10, and I'd still come up to 21. So if you have groups of numbers, feel free to use that little trick. Last, when you're adding numbers, remember that you have to line them up. And what I mean by that is the ones have to line up to the ones. Notice how I've been very careful here to make sure my ones are all lined up, 7, 7, 9. My tens are all lined up, 9, 1, 0. See how I line those up? Here I have a 4 and a 3. That's my hundredths spot, and I've lined those up. So be careful that you line them up when you're doing your addition. Oops, I'm sorry, there is one more thing. When you're doing addition, you can always check it with subtraction. Example, 25 plus 17 is 42. Now if you take your answer and subtract the number in the middle, you'll go back to what you started with. So 42 minus 17 is equal to 25. That's kind of a neat little thing you can do to check and see if you've got the right answer. Of course, you can always use a calculator too, but don't tell anybody I told you to do that. Don't forget, before you start on page 15, that there is a part 2, so make sure to watch that. Very important, we're going to talk about grouping.